as you can see on the Cortina, we've got some very nice reflections going on the paint job. Really impressed with the paint actually. It's actually polished up really nicely. Obviously pan along the edge, you can see all the lovely reflections in the lines of the panel work. Obviously we have a rust issue there. It's quite a big sort of like rust issue there, in that it's quite chunky and bubbly and not too great. Yes, this isn't the brand new one that we're building, although the paint job looks amazing. Now it's been hand buffed and then polished, just to clean her up, just to make her look a little bit more presentable and see what we're actually kind of going to be dealing with. If we come down here and kind of look at the bumper rubber on her, which I've cleaned and buffed and shined and polished and has come up really good, so we've got a lovely one of those. Bumper obviously nice and shiny, but close inspection it's got the very fine sort of little tiny sort of speckles of rust in it where it's a little hazy looking. So obviously it's not like mint by any means, I've seen way worse, but it's sort of presentable. But for a show kind of car you'd really want to be getting it sent off and re-chromed. Upper front valance at the front here, we've obviously got rust, and then some more rust, and then big hole, which is kind of hand-sized hole, spotlight that's in the boot because it was kind of wobbly, so we thought put that in the back. Obviously it's gone down there, you've got like, you can see daylight, well you can see the road surface, my hand through it, another bit just there in the middle, but then strangely enough from there over, well there's a little sort of surfacey bit there, all the way across the rest of it is really good, right up to the end, and the wing inside there is all lovely. Obviously the front knuckled bit is really good. Obviously she's got the plastic black grille, which is kind of flaking and peeling. This one looks like it's been silver at some stage, and then they've kind of painted over it black. I don't quite know why it's been sprayed silver and then sprayed black. Maybe somebody wanted it to look like an earlier model at some point. Normally they're molded in black plastic, and then you get the 75, 76 ones where they're sort of greyish, sort of gunmetal grey finish, and then they have silver on those ones there. So obviously this has got a lot of black paint that's flaky. It's interesting really, it's 1975 model. Would have expected for the P-Reg for it to have had the rectangular headlights for the model. They were an option early 75, you could have the round ones or this version. So I'm guessing whoever ordered it preferred this, and that's why they went on. Obviously the headlights are flatter because they've got H4s? Yeah, H4 conversion lights in where I got it. And obviously Bosch spotlights, a pair of those on the front. Obviously really good condition. And the wings, we come down here and have a look, is front valance. Start with the front valance because there's kind of holes in the front valance. We've got that bit, and then it comes along and you can see it kind of starts to make bigger holes, and kind of like a rather impressive hole sort of there. So inner and outer completely gone, so I need to, if we're doing it, we need to replace outer valance, inner valance on the front, upper front valance. The front, it's pretty dark down here, the chassis rail part that comes down, where they're normally rotted underneath and the bottom, it's sort of rusty in that it's rough, but it's not actually rotted through. That's kind of very crusty, so I should imagine if we clean up the edges and the ends of them, they'll probably disintegrate. But there's quite a bit of corrosion inside that sort of area on it, in that it's quite heavy and lumpy. So I don't know yet, until we obviously start stripping them down. Front cradle is fine, engine's great, Radiator's original, and that's still in there and in one piece. Obviously not a lot left of the front inner piece that goes across there on the inner valance. But again, let's see up here, it's probably too dark to show up on the video, it might do, but where it would usually kind of fill up with loads of water and shit and they rot through on this, actually solid. It's starting to go on the edges of the folds where they join together. There's corrosion in that, but it's not bad at all. One interesting thing, suspension arms, top ones, ball joints on them when they leave factory riveted on, and then when they get replaced they're bolt on. Well, both of these are riveted on, so original suspension would suggest original mileage. Mileage on this one, we'll have a look at that in a minute. But I say we have superbly good front wing. Had magnets on here, it's solid, no filler, absolutely lovely and smooth, no signs of bubbles or anything going on there. She's got original low-level coach lining position done on the sides as opposed to it being up here on the 74 models, September 73 onwards, obviously midway coach lines, and then 75, 76 they dropped it down there to kind of get you used to the eye line of the Mark IV having that sweep out on the door and the wing and the trim that went into there, part of Ford's marketing team thingy. Bottom of wing is beautiful, no holes, it's got under seal on it, a little bit of surfacey rust kind of colouring coming through it, but it's all nice and solid. So this wing's really good. Jacking point down there looks pretty solid, doesn't seem to want to be moving when you wobble it, which is good. And inner wing areas and the inner chassis rail sections all around there are good. Down inside there, I've got a lot of light in this bit at the moment. It's a bit scruffy looking at the bottom on the outside there, but again, it's not actually rotted through in holes, so I don't know, we're going to have a look and see. Sills this side actually look solid and good, but floor pan on this side is pretty good too. Obviously jacking cups there, got a dent in it where somebody's like lifted it at some point on there, but chassis rail is solid all the way along from the front to the back where the rear fork is, and good news is on the floor pan that it's appearing to be nice and solid, and obviously the floor to lip sill is there all the way along, so that's good. Externally, door skins, little bits of surfacey kind of rust along the edge, you know, little sort of bubbles and bits and pieces, but it doesn't look like it's going to be going right the way through, so they're pretty good. Door on this side is really nice on the front, door on the back is really good. Rear wing on this side is very nice, to be fair. Tiny little sort of rust chippy thing there. Little bit of very fine staining, and again a little bit of very fine little couple of stains there. Tiny bit on the edge of this, on the gutter. The roof is seriously good. It's all nice and solid. Roof here is really nice. C-pillar. Come down, arch there. It's got paint flakes there and rust in it, but it doesn't sort of push through when I press on it. Obviously the arch is a bit scruffy just there, which, you know, usual places that they tend to go. So we've got some little bits of repair work to do with the arch. Inside, that's a point down in here. Yep, it's still got its round hole for the end of the sill, which is pretty rare because they normally all corrode and go around that and get plated, but it's still kind of there down in the dark. Edge of the tub is really good. Inside of the tub is really good. It's original on its tub. Just trying to see if I can feel with my thumb behind here to see. Yep, still got its round tag. Still got its square tab there. So the wheel tub's heavily undersealed, and by the look of it, absolutely mint on the inner one. Outer one behind here, what have we got? Are we feeling anything? No feeling, can't feel any filler around on the inside. So nope, that's pretty good. Lower quarter, well, yeah, we've got a hole there, splitting down here a little bit, pulling away from the inner one. Obviously, exhaust bracket dangling. Rear valance is, actually, before we get to rear valance, let's have a look at rear. Ooh, rear boot floor chassis leg is there and solid and nice, as is the spring hangery piece of the chassis leg. That looks absolutely perfect. So basically, from boot floor going down, going along the floor and all the way round and down, chassis legs on this side, I would say, are 99% perfect, if not 100% perfect, because I can't visually at the moment see anything wrong with it. Under here, tyre well, again, it's not got any holes, which is bloody incredible really when you think about it, because 99% of the time they have holes in. So there's nothing there. Obviously rear valance has suffered somewhat there and the edge, but again, I don't know if it's going to show up because of the lighting. Inside here we have genuine original grey Ford electroplated primer coating, so which is quite impressive when you kind of think of it. So that means that that's the original inner valance. Up on this one at the moment it just feels like surfacey rust, so I can't feel the smoothness of the paint to see if this is an original outer, but certainly the inner one was an original panel. Again, up there you can see on this one the original grey electroplated full primer, so that is that's what's left of the petrol tank strap that was on that side. It seems to not be there. This side's got one, that side's not. Petrol tank again looks pretty decent. Not inspected it fully, a little bit of surface corrosion on it there, but it doesn't appear to be leaking or have major rust issues. So that's really good. Again, when we come up here, we've got a hole there. So top edge of this one, in through there, it's kind of rotted out through that bit going into the panel. Whoops, let's come up this way. The rear bumper rubber is on and intact and very nice. At some point it's had red reflective stickery thing on it, which obviously makes a bit of it still there. It's peeled off the other side. And a pair of fog lights. I actually had a look at the make of them, to be fair. I'm not sure which ones they are. Well, they're the square ones, so they could actually be Ford ones. I don't know, does it show up on the camera? What's it say? They're probably not Ford. Are they Bosch? Oh, they're Bosch fog lights. That's nice. So I've got a pair of square Bosch fog lamps on it, which nice little sort of period style accessory from the day. So I should imagine they're going to hopefully clean up well, because they appear to be intact. Obviously we have the Cortina and the weird anomaly. I hate that word. Anomaly. That's not the word. How do you say it? Anomaly. Forget that, because trying to pronounce that word is strange. The weird addition, we shall say, or whatever. But it's the sloping dark insert painted L badge, which you would normally see, obviously from factory, would be on a 70-73, and then September 73 to 74 you'd have the L decor as a L badged version, because that was only produced for 1 year of manufacture, so they're dead rare. And then of course you'd have your right angled chrome L badge. So September 75, I wouldn't expect to see this on it. Would expect to see the chrome one. That's what should be there from date of manufacture of the badges and when they were put on, and Ford technical spec, etc. And obviously memory of mine of going back to when the roads were just full of brand spanking new ones of these, and I saw them everywhere every day and in showrooms gleaming waiting to be sold. good old days when the roads were just filled with beautiful, beautiful cars. Obviously it's got a Ford chrome lettering on there. Boot lid's not bad. It's little sort of scuffy bits along the edge. Got to have a look inside actually. What we do have an issue with, like the other one, I seem to have a knack of buying Cortinas or having Cortinas that have holes in their rear wings. This one's got kind of decent sized hole in the rear wing, so that needs doing. It's gone up there slightly. And then we come around here and we have the same issue in that it's kind of all the way along the edge of the rear wing has completely gone up to there. So that's going to need work. We've got a big sort of like bit rotted out on the rear corner, so you can kind of get your hand above the light cluster quite easily because it's kind of not there. Bottom corner there's gone. You come around, you can sort of see the holes in that. This is all rusted and gone. Underneath the petrol filler flap again, yeah, it's that big you can get your hand in. And then we have the really impressive hole there, which is, you know, a decent size really. So apparently it sat in the garage for 35 years with rain dripping down on the back end. Personally I think it was kind of dripping down quite a lot on this side because we've also got rust issue here in that it's kind of two tiny holes and it's rusty. It's rusted around there and there on the skin, but it's not gone through. Staining there, staining there, tiny little sort of chip there, but that's all. This is nice and shiny on the door. Little thing happening there, so we've got to investigate that and that bit. Having said that, when you kind of come down here, not a lot of point doing that up there to be fair, because I just remembered this is the side with the dodgy doors. Yeah, door skin kind of ends here, should kind of come down to like there where the sill lip is, but there's that bit of the door sort of missing. You know, we have leads hanging out of it, which obviously shows you how kind of corroded it is. Bottom edge from here back is pretty good. And then we come along, we've got a hole in the corner, and then the bottom back door is the same, it's just kind of rotted all the way along and a big hole. And so yeah, door skin, door bottom's kind of gone on that side. Door skin, sort of door bottom's kind of there, but not really the lip. So yeah, the two doors on this side have fared worst on the bottom, with a lot of dampness getting into it somehow and rotting those out. Front wing on this side, again, I've had a magnet on it, absolutely solid, nice and smooth, no sign of bubbles or corrosion or any problems until we get down here, and then we've got a little bit of the bottom, which is again very dark. My camera may adjust, you may be able to see it's just a little hole in the bottom of the corner of the wing there. Yeah, there we go, angle wise, that's better for lighting. You see there's a little bit there, but that's all. And the jacking point on this side is kind of angled and crusty and wobbling around, so that needs sorting. But again, under the front wings, very, very good. Got a bit of an issue at the top up inside there. Basically, underneath this, where your wing rail is, we have a hole that's inside there, and we've got a hole in the top of the inner bulkhead. In the bulkhead? Outer bulkhead? Bulkhead that's there where your fuse box is. It's kind of gone around that on the outer panel. And then a hole sort of where that plate is. There's some of the plate, but there's something going on under there, so we've got to check that. What has amazed me, and I am absolutely in awe of this, a post from the roof. Talking about the roof, little corrosion-y bit there, little corrosion-y bit there, little corrosion-y bit there. A post's beautiful on the outside. They come down to very, very tiny, minor surface bubbles of rust. And that's as bad as it gets. I've had a magnet on this and it's all solid original steel. There's no filler in it. There's no sign of a repair ever being done in this area at all. So it's just started to get little surface bits. And I don't know, on the camera it probably looks worse than it is, but until it's been sprayed, or it's just the weather's got to the paint and made it kind of slightly pimply. But it's yeah, it's just surfacey bits there. Bonnet, obviously big blubber there, really big sort of mountainous region of rust that's appeared there, so that's probably grind down a hole, as would be the front. But yeah, the front wing on this side obviously is speckled with rust on it. The rear wing we've seen, which is terrible. Wheels, original wheels on all four wheels, which is nice. If we come back round this one again and have a look here, again, A-pillar from the roof all the way down, absolutely lovely. And this is all we've got here, a tiny little bit just there, where it's just slight bubbles, very shallow bubbles. And just here, the paint's flaked. Somebody's obviously tried touching it in because there's a little bit of green. It may have been that the car at some point has had a respray just tidying up, because there's a little bit of green on the edge of the rubber, so it suggests that at some point she had a paint job. But obviously just tiny surface bit there, again all solid. So surprising to find a Mark III of this age with completely solid, not repaired areas there. But when you consider the mileage that this one's done, which, given the fact that the suspension has still got its riveted suspension on it, I'd expect that to be completely original mileage, and various other aspects of the car would point to it being original mileage. When we open the doors and we come in, first off we find that the black vinyl seats are almost spot on. Tiny little mark in the seat there, but other than that, obviously like slight sort of wearing or dirt, I'm not quite sure which, but it's just, you know, it's not actually sort of like worn through or anything. They're really nice. Recline handle thing, the cover down here, not cracked, not split, absolutely perfect. Original door seals, they're all intact. We've got the black kick panels, carpeting. We come up to the dash and we find vivid silver on the dashboard. Eyeball vents, they've faded a bit because of light getting to them. That's just typical of what happens with these. They always seem to sort of have the silver that are on the buttons on the L version. Always just seems to pretty quickly wear off. I know it did on original ones on our car. Obviously we've got lovely silver on the dash, so I'm really impressed with that. Pop in here, you can see the silvering. We've got a blank kaput radio. We have awesome silver on the edges of the glove box, and over there, that's all nice. We've got original little door buttons that have the silver inserts, which are slightly weathered, worn, faded, whatever, but they've got the little buttons in. Correct door handles, perfect, beautiful chrome bezels on these. Slightly unpleasant aftermarket sort of, what make are they? I forget now, can't remember. It's got a, Emperor door speakers. I don't know why people do this to the door cards. They absolutely pristine door cards. There's no marks, no sagging, sort of nothing wrong with the fronts or the backs. The door cards are really good. Back seats, again, you know, absolutely perfect. Mint. Parcel shaft is good. Roof lining is seriously good. Little coat hanger thingies are great. We've got the thing in the middle here, the light, which is really nice condition, and the switch is so tight and like brand spanking new. It's just lovely. You get a nice solid click with it, so that's like mint. Right, slightly mouldy on that, and dirty, as you can see, but the products are used to clean up the other ones for the other one, which is over there. Here's the other little one waiting to have a few bits done to it and then going off to body shop. And obviously, you know, there's mould grown on top of this. It's all like speckly where it's been in the damp for ages, but that should clean up fine. What did I use on these? I used a thing called Clin. I think it was Clin. I know it's a paste made by Astonish. It's very good. Nice little touch with this one. genuine Ford key with the lions. Yes, I was really impressed with this one, to be fair. It's got that. I thought, yay, it's original key. Original centre console. Weird manual stick wiggly thing. Obviously, I don't drive these generally. I'm more used to a T-bar shift, but hey. So obviously down there we've got 3 pedals, which is really random because I normally just have 2. We've got this. We have, am I going to get the angle to get the light to show you? Yes. Absolutely beautiful seatbelt buckles. Bit blurry, not really showing up, but trust me, they are perfect. Look at that. No staining, no kind of discoloration, no scratching. It's just like absolutely mint, and really good. And it's a nice little gem. And when we come around this side, they've still got original stickers on that side too, on both of them. So that's really rare. A weird thing we have up here, we've got the obviously cigarette lighter, which when you pull it out is lovely and chromy shiny, and it's not going to show up in here, is it, because it's too dark really, but a little bit kind of slightly rusty, but absolutely pristine clean, and I don't think that's ever been used in the car. And judging by the headlining and everything else, I would say it's definitely not been used in the car. If we come around here and we slide open this, again, absolutely pristine clean inside, apart from the fact that obviously sitting for 35 years you're going to get some surface rusting on it, but doesn't look like it's ever been used, so that's good. Open that up, we have a dark box that you can't really see into because it's not light enough, but the light is down in there, so that's there and that works nice. Slider controls obviously for your heater that pulls forward and back, really seriously loose. I mean, it's just like really like brand new, sort of, you know, it's not gone stiff with age or anything. All these things just sort of float beautifully, so that's good. We have obviously, I was saying, cigarette lighter, and then you come down here for the 2 rocker switches. Early cars will have 1, base cars, you know, early ones, nothing. And then obviously you get the rocker switches for heated rear window and hazard switch. Weirdly enough, we have heated rear window, original genuine Mk.3 Cortina version, and then heated rear window, original 1973-74 Mk.3 Cortina version. So that's kind of random, 2 heated rear window switches as opposed to the one which I would expect to have found there. It could be that because obviously they just clip in on this particular style. They do different styles of switches, and this one's got like a little sort of plastic thing that kind of clips on top, and then you can pop that off and you can see your bulb inside. Could be that maybe the hazard one went missing, or I don't know, they would have broke it given the mileage on this, but it's kind of random that we've got 2 identical heated rear window switches. Obviously not got a battery connected, so I can't really check the electrics yet to sort of see if you press one and the hazards would work or anything. But yeah, interior is really nice. All of the winders are lovely, all the chrome bezels are nice, the handles are good, door cards are beautiful, and it's reading its mileage of, actually it's less than I thought. Okay, we have, I don't know if you can get in there and see that because I say it's dark, so it probably won't be showing up very well at this angle given the time of day, but basically it says 52,284 miles. Well chuffed with that. Carpets are nice, yeah, and everything inside her is what should be inside her basically. So there's nothing sort of changed, modified, missing. I have a blue bottle down there or something, a fly of some description. Say hello fly, you're on YouTube. There you go, a fly, and even the fly loves the Cortina, so that's nice of you. Right, obviously original steering wheel, yay. Surprising when they don't have a cover how actually thin this steering wheel is, because obviously on that one, on the 2000D I've got, it's kind of leather bound steering wheel, and obviously that one has got like a cover on the steering wheel. which was a Ford accessory that we bought at the time when it was new. And it makes it quite a bit sort of, I don't know, it just seems wider. Maybe I'm just so used to driving my somewhat newer, still old-fashioned Ford that's got a much chunkier steering wheel. But it's just, I got in this and thought, wow, this steering wheel is thin in comparison to what I'm used to. It's very strange, but yeah, lovely. It's just so good sitting inside a Mk.3 Cortina behind the dashboard of like the steering wheel and everything, and looking out down that beautiful long wide bonnet where you can see the edges of your wings, and it's just like, oh, this is gorgeous. It's been a long time since I've driven the one over there. And obviously this doesn't drive either because it's probably not safe to. It doesn't have brakes for a start at the moment that are working, so they're obviously, you know, as you'd expect, something sitting for that amount of time. But yeah, it's really nice. I love it. So there we go. We have an issue down here at the bottom of the A pillar, which is typical with these. Quite often it's just sort of gone. Top edge of the sill there and the bottom of the A post is a bit grotty. It's a little bit grotty around its original. I'm not going to get enough light there, are we, to see that? But you have your round plunger courtesy light switch, and there's a little bit of corrosion around there. Obviously we'll investigate all these bits properly at some point. Boot! I haven't shown you the boot. Let's get the key and show you the boot. Where are we? Boot, boot, boot. In goes the key. Open the boot. Boot comes up. And we're going to have enough light to see what we're doing. Remains, looks like a snake. It's the remains of the original exhaust system, which is heavily corroded and lots of holes. We've got, actually, you know what that is? That's random. It's some kind of, probably a brake plate. Yes, that would be a brake plate. So there's a brake dust cover plate thing there by the look of it, which I'm guessing is probably off of this, so it will need a new one of them. Yeah, boot floor. Remember on my other one over there where it was just kind of gone all the way along the bottom edge? Well, again, this one's kind of rotted from there inwards purely because of water that was getting down into here from where it's been stored, and it's been cascading down onto it. Then once it's rotted through that bit in there, it's laid in the floor and then rotted down through the floor. So we've got an area there on the edge of the floor which is gone. Over here, obviously due to the very big hole there, it's been cascading down through that hole up here and then dropping down and going onto the floor there. Again, I think it's too dark. You may get a bit of idea, but basically there's a big arc there which rotted through. The jacking piece that should be there, that's missing, because obviously it would normally be sitting here to hold your jack, and it's gone. They've got this weird aftermarket aerial thingy that they've stuck in the back, or possibly just ordered it to be put in the back when it was done. I'll have to check that and see if it's a Ford fitted one or not, but normally they went on the front near side wing, because that's where you would expect to find it. So yeah, so it's rotted the floor around here and on there. Chassis leg is still there. It's a bit corroded on the top, but it's solid. So obviously boot floor down under here, under the light cradle thing, that's kind of gone. But coming forward, it's a little rusty where water's laid, but we haven't got holes. The cardboard panels for the side are there. The inserts that go up into the wheel tubs, they're there for both sides, so that's good. My jack's over there, so it comes with that. Original straps, they're here. Bit that holds the spare wheel down. Wheel tubs on this side, inner and outer, looking beautiful. Floor on this side is looking absolutely spotless. Floor here is absolutely spotless. Original little round plugs in the floor. So you ever wondered what's underneath? Normally, whenever I've seen the Mk.3s, they have under seal, or not under seal, what do they call it? Seam sealer. seam sealer kind of splurged over the top of these things in quite a lot of them. So there you go, it's the oval metal dished plug in the floor on that side, and an oval metal dished plug in the floor on that side, and then just to kind of show you how good this little baby is under all of the grok that is also on her. If we take the wheel out, we have, again it's in shade and this is annoying because it seriously is good, there's no holes. Its original little plastic grommet that goes in there is missing, but I've got some of them anyway. Again, it's got the round ones there. I'm intrigued. The tyre, which is really naff and has rotted, what's it got on it? Oh, actually no, it isn't missing. It was just stuck to the tyre, which is great. There it is. So it's the original little plastic inserty thing that goes in. So, yay, great, it is there. So that goes over and basically sits in there. It presses back down into it. So, should just leave it resting there for now. Actually, that's a thought. Shall I leave it resting there or shall I take it out? Because I put the tyre back in and pull the tyre out, and the tyre and the wheel's a bit shit. It could get stuck to it and then I could forget it's there. So actually, I'll put it up on there and then I'll remember it's there. But we have a Michelin XZX, which has definitely seen better days and completely rotted through. Now, I don't know if these are originals. Obviously the wheel's original Mk.3, so I'm kind of guessing this could be Michelin XZX. If anybody watching this knows when Michelin XZXs were made, radial, that's what's on the one in the boot. As I say, the wheel's seen better days. As you can see, the lip is here and then it just goes zoop and drops and rots away all on there, sadly. So I'd say this was probably a wheel that was on the car and sitting there, and water's laid in the edge and just corroded that away rather than it being in the boot, because the amount of corrosion on the wheel doesn't marry up with the amount of corrosion in the boot, because there is hardly any in the boot and certainly none in the actual well. So yeah, it's probably been swapped round. Ooh, but very impressed with the tyre, including the dead free moth that comes with it in the spot in there. It's quite an impressive size moth. So yeah, that's the boot. The boot floor is really good, apart from edge and over there, which needs doing. Oh yeah, the boot lid. We were going to have a look at this, weren't we? Yeah, it's good. It's got rusty stuff on its edge, and that it's roughish, but it's solid. And again, nice original features. The little rubber grommets or plastic grommets that go in the corners of your Mk.3 Cortina boot thing. There's one there, that's in place, and there's one there and that's in place. Why have they never put them in these? I don't know, because they put one in there, you know, the same size hole, but they never really filled these in. And then obviously you had a hole there, but that never got filled in either. It's kind of random that they just stuck a grommet in the two corners, but I suppose I think maybe water could get blown in and blow into this one, and by the time you've got that, that's on the inside of your boot, that comes on the inside of your boot, so those holes. So I suppose it's just there just to stop water from getting blown through and sucked up into this and causing corrosion. But yeah, it's got those original little features on it there, which are nice as well. As you can see, issue here is we have no gutter, because the wing rail guttery thing's gone. And the other big sort of oops is that this is where the boot rubber is, and we should have like a nice little bit that comes down, comes along, and a gutter coming up to kind of pop this onto. It's actually resting on the springs. So that rear panel that comes along under here is like non-existent basically. It's just kind of rotted out and gone. So the funny part is the top bit where the screen is absolutely pristine and mint. She still has the little plastic items on here that are kind of plasticky, screwed on deflectors for wind and water and what have you over the exit point there. They're on it and absolutely intact, which is incredible because they normally go brittle and break and disintegrate and fall off. So they're under all the grime, which is nice, intact and perfect at the moment. They may break when obviously we strip it down, but we'll have to be very careful with it. But yeah, the top bit's fine, it's the bottom bit that's gone. On the other one, the bottom bit was all lovely, the gutter, it was the top one that had got holes in. So I rebuilt that one over, well I say I did, Gary rebuilt the one over there using good bits of mine and obviously putting in repair pieces from a scrap one that we got, panel, and making up a couple of bits and putting into it. So the original one over there was rebuilt. This one pinned, maybe able to clean it back enough to salvage enough of it to then graft in an actual lip part, or I may just kind of go, right, let's rummage through stock and see what we've got in the way of a panel for that. So something will have to be done with that, obviously, because it's kind of gone on that bit. Bumper's being held on by cable ties there for some reason, not really sure why. Could be that the bumper iron is like come off, or actually might not be there. That's a thought. Do you have a bumper iron? It's got the bolts through it, so maybe the bottom, could be that the bumper iron there is rotted because the bolts are in, so I'm guessing that that piece has rotted through, which would make sense for where the water's gone. Probably why it's cable tied on just there. But yeah, so there she is. September 1975, Ford Cortina Mk.3, 1600 with the black badge and the angled stripe, which would be right and correct for the 75 build year. Lower level, obviously, coach lining, again correct for the 75 build year. In beautiful, stunning, gorgeous Ford Medina green, which is a colour I've always loved. When you see the Mark 1 Escorts in it, you occasionally saw Capris in it, and you saw Mark 1 Granadas in it. Yeah, they just looked beautiful. And of course transit vans and the occasional truck back in the day that were in the same colour, although the trucks have a different sort of shading, because you've got light, medium and dark Medina for the car ranges, and then you had truck Medina, which was used on the lorries and the transit vans, which was a different shade again. But yeah, she's lovely. All the glass on this one marries up with being correct. The year of manufacture for the glass all the way round is what it should be. Obviously the inserts are faded with the sun, little silver trim bits are there. Being a 75, she has the dark wipers, so that's correct for it. We're under here on the rear driver's side, pitch black. I appreciate that, you can't see anything apart from my hand, but here is, where are we? We come back here. That's where the rear jacking point thing goes in, you know, your pole. So we're on that split chassis rail where the lower arm comes out. So from here kind of back to about there, we have quite a large sort of rust area issue going on just sort of there. Come further along, it's a little bit corroded there, and then when you come down, keep going forward. I know it's really dark, bear with me, I'll just explain this bit. It's kind of gone through there, it's gone through there, and it's gone through there, so the front chassis section's naff, and obviously the floor to lip section all the way along is not too great. It's kind of, it moves, so that needs attention on that. Sill, surprisingly enough, it's still very solid apart from here where it's kind of gone through, but yeah, that bit's not great. But other than that, the floor pan is appearing to be seriously good. Even where the little plates are on the floor for the seats, it doesn't seem to have split, corroded or opened up, so they're really nice. But obviously we have some repair work underneath, but generally the floor pan is looking at the moment to be seriously good. And now I suppose you'd like to see under the bonnet a bit better, so we'll do that one. Right, here we are under the engine bay. Now we go from quite nice paintwork on the wing and seriously good paintwork on the bonnet. Moving in, we kind of go, now this one's got the straight line coming down, as opposed to the little one where it comes down, you have a little bit of a ridge and then it drops down. So that's straight. And then when you come over here, we've got the one with the ridge, where it comes along and then it's got a little ridge and it rounds off and drops down. So, or a step, as I might call it. So you come along, you drop down, you've got that little sort of rounded step, and it comes down to that with the lines. Now this is very interesting, because over there I have the other one. There. And when we started working on her, we had this wing, came down, had this nice little sort of rounded step, and it came down. And then the wing that was on this side was completely straight. So, about another pair of wings. And when I get them, this one, it's got this little rounded bit and the step and it comes down. And the other one is completely straight. Now, the completely straight ones are in the sort of light full brown primer, so it's the 70, 74 primer colours. And then 75, 76 they started to have in stock a darker Ford primer, which is more like a sort of dark browny black. And obviously Veng apparently were making wings for Ford, so one of the Ford guys told me, because they were needing to have a load manufactured and they couldn't keep up with the mile that they required or something. So I've often wondered, I'm thinking, is this the Veng designed ones, and that's what seems to be out there? Maybe Ford's pressing for this got damaged or whatever, so they're Veng wings on this. I mean, I'm not sure if I've seen one with a step over there, but I might have done over the years. Just thinking about this, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'd say genuine 100% Ford wing, and probably still a Ford wing, but it has got that on it. I mean, the knuckle is, generally on these aftermarket ones, they weren't straight when you come up here. They had a rounded appearance on a lot of the pattern wings. This one's got its lovely straight knuckle. It comes up nice and straight there, and it continues in and slowly kind of blends in up here, which is what the genuine Ford ones do. And again on this side, you've got the lovely tight, nice knuckle on there, comes up and then blending in. So, it carries on along there and then slowly kind of comes in. So I'm thinking that they're probably original wings. Hard to say really, but certainly good condition. One nice little feature, the original air dam thing that goes in, that screws into that. It's a little bit kind of weathered in that it's warped slightly, but it's there, it's intact, it's not broken, so that's nice. Original radiator with the green hose coming out down that side the proper way, as opposed to most of them coming out and going that way, which is completely wrong. Battery tray, a bit rustic. Inner front headlight bulb panels, inner wings rather, they're really, really good. Obviously it's dirty and rusty looking. Still got this on it. Interesting that it has the post attached to that and onto here that holds the hose. So that's a nice little kind of feature, with the hose coming round, and it has this clip-on bit which is riveted into there. Not seen them for a while on a lot of the cars, so that's a nice little feature to see this on here like that. And then obviously lead hole there, and the lead hole there. So seeing one of them's good. Genuine Ford carburettor. Obviously she's got the correct dipstick still in. She's got a little sticker on there, which is nice. Still, we come round. We have proper air filter for this model. It's a bit rusty on there, but that will clean up. Proper one with a red top, nice. And the red band tag round the bottom of the servo. Obviously 75 model, it gets the bigger washer bottle in the cradle with the electric screen wash. So that's there and nice. We come down here, we have original plug, original square plug, which is nice for the leads. We've got obviously the proper original fiberglassy type box, as opposed to the moulded horrible shiny plasticky things that they put on the Mark 5s, which I've never been so keen on personally. I like the sort of original boxes, but then some people prefer the shiny ones, so you know, each to their own. I like this one because it just to me is kind of original Mark 3, because that's what Mark 3s originally had. So started off on these and obviously carried on the same sort of design, but then knocked them out in plastic because I'm guessing it was probably easier and cheaper to make. Down here we have a problem. Down here we have the hole. The hole goes in, and then how am I going to film this one? Here we have like a hole underneath around the fuse box, and then down there we have like, oh look, you can go right the way down and inside. So we've got a hole there. And that's making me slightly concerned about what's happened at the bottom of that lot, because obviously if the top's rotted out to the point where it's got a hole, then anything else that went down there water wise would have gone right the way through, and that could be a problem. But there again, if we're there and we're looking a straight line straight down, so we're coming to here, and then we're going in a straight line all the way down, so I think we more or less end up here, which would make sense as to why the jacking cup bit is all kind of corroded and pulling away, because all that water up there that would have got in has come down between the inner and outer one of this, sat there and gone, well, I need to get out somehow, and that's why it's like rotted this bit and it's all bent and angled and wobbly. I'm not going to keep on playing with it because it will come off, and I just like it being there for the time being. So I think we've got a bit of an issue around that bit because of that. But the other side hasn't got a hole, and the other side is spot on solid. So yeah, so that's good. Really, she is in pretty good nick. She needs work and love from TLC, i.e. new rear quarters, probably inner quarters, definitely an inner and outer rear valance, definitely a front inner and outer valance, and an upper front valance. Bonnet's landing panel, slam panel, whatever you want to call it. I do have chassis tags for it. They are been took off and put safe. It's got an original Ford E sticker. Coming along here, it's all kind of like rusty and scruffy looking. The radiator sticker seems to not be here, which is random, or it usually says a 50-50 mixing. So either it's flaked off, come unstuck and disappeared, blown off at some point or something, but that one's still there. But I've known these to kind of come adrift, whereas these always seem to stick on for eternity. The bigger ones here do tend to get air bubbles under the lift and peel and come loose. I've seen that before. So for some reason it isn't there. Obviously colour plate again, took that off with that one, that's safe. But a bit rough looking. And obviously down inside that side, where again it's nice inside, the too dark, you can't really see much, but chassis rails a little bit rough, scruffy and rusty on the edges of it, but overall inside isn't bad. It needs loads of cleaning, loads of detailing, but it's what it should be. I like the fact that nothing's been changed or modified or messed about with. Everything that's on it is what should be. Finding it kind of random seeing a starter motor down there when I'm so used to it being on the other side on my one, but down there on mine, but obviously it's down there on this, whereas opposed to it being over there on mine. But yeah, everything on it is lovely and genuine and not messed around with, and that's what I like. We've had obviously upgrades of lights, somebody's done that at some point. But other than that, the car is really good. The bonnet's seen better days. It's rough, but not horrendous. I've seen them where they've all rotted away inside here. My other one rotted away all inside here. So, yeah, this is actually good. Again, it's been under sealed. It's had some kind of coating of some sort put on it, which has obviously helped protect it. And has gone inside it as well, because you can kind of feel it and see it inside here. So that's pretty good. It's just the outside that's suffered on the skin with the dampness. So that's what she's like. She's really pretty good. She needs some work. It's nowhere near as much work as on the other one, visually looking around it, but obviously it still needs quite a bit. Rear end is probably the worst. Once we've got sort of an outer, an inner front and an upper front on her. To be fair, headlight mounting plates or radiator support panels, they're not looking too bright at the bottom. In fact, I think that one's probably missing at the bottom. So, and along inside where the headlights go. So I will probably need to replace. In fact, let's just have a quick look and go, yes, I will need to replace. Headlight mounting panel there, radiator support panel. Headlight mounting panel, that side radiator support panel will probably be the same by the look of it, although it may not be quite as bad. Actually, to be fair, that's kind of there. So, one for that side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, door 8, door 9, wing 10, inner and outer 11, 12, inner quarters 13, 14. Did I count that one? Probably not. 15, if not 15. We've got around 15, that'll come with that, so that's okay, yeah. 15, 16, chassis rail, 17, 18. I'd say between 18 and 20 panels that are going to be requiring work. Oh shit, boot for. Forgot boot for. 20, 21, 22. Roughly about 22 panel areas that need work on the car. In one form or another. So it's not too bad. Oh yeah, I didn't show you in there. The plus sides of this one. The wheel arch, little surface rust, tiny little bit chipped out of there, where I guess the guy that I got it from has been exploring. It's a little bit, well, where are we? We're there. Why am I looking at the wheel? The wheel's an interesting colour, I like that, it's kind of Halloween-y looking. Yeah, we've got a bit just here where it's obviously a little bit of a hole, and then a bit scruffy there. And a little tiny bit of an issue going on here where it's attached, but solid. Nice solid step, ski slope actually. Rough where they've attached the sill to that at some point, so obviously it's had a replacement sill. But this piece is lovely up here, this panel. Arch is solid and beautiful all the way down, and the lip piece into this is good. The sill here is good on the top. Under here, obviously, door has rotted, but inside here on the arch, where you would normally see them fill up with water and rot through, that's all really good. So it's really a shame about the doors, because the bottoms are naff, but places where I've seen them go before, absolutely perfect. So it must have been well waxed and looked after. Probably undercover for a very, very long time, which is most likely what's kept it good. If my one had been on the garage undercover for years, mine would have been really good. But because sadly it sat outside, that's what kind of kill these cars. If you have them undercover, you can have an old Ford inside undercover for years and years and years, and it will last great. But you put them outside with just average protection on them, and it don't do them a lot of good.